I remember the exact moment I realized I'd been bleeding money for my family my entire adult life, like a slow leak I'd ignored until the floor was soaked. It was December 31st, 2025, and my brother Caleb texted me a single line. "You're covering Dad's retirement party, $15,000. We booked the venue already. Your turn." I stared at the message in the dim light of my kitchen, my daughter's crayon drawings fluttering on the fridge from the heat vent. My chest tightened so hard I had to sit down. "Your turn." Like I was next in line at a deli counter. Let me take you back because you need to feel how deep this went. I grew up in a sagging ranch house on the south side of Indianapolis. Thin walls, cigarette haze that never quite left the curtains, the constant hum of a box fan because the central air died when I was 10 and never got replaced. Dad drove a forklift at a warehouse. Mom cleaned offices at night. Money was always a ghost in the room. Never enough, always hungry. But somehow there was always enough for my little sister Nora's cheer uniforms, her pom-poms, her competition fees that took her to Florida twice a year. There was always enough for Caleb's AAU basketball, new Jordans every season, hotel rooms in Chicago, entry fees, gas money for Mom to drive him. Me? I was the oldest, the smart one. The one who wouldn't mind wearing the same hoodie 2 winters in a row. When I begged to join the robotics team in high school, there was a $400 fee and a trip to Purdue for regionals. Dad didn't even pause the TV. "You'll figure something out, Lucas. You always do." So I did. I stocked shelves at Kroger until midnight, saved every paycheck, paid my own way. By 17, I was the one calling the electric company to beg for an extension when the bill came in red. When Caleb got his acceptance to IU Bloomington, Mom cried happy tears and handed him an envelope thick with cash. "We've been saving since you were in diapers," she said. I never got an envelope. I got into Purdue engineering on pure scholarships and grit. Took out $38,000 in loans anyway, worked 35 hours a week fixing professors' laptops, lived at home to save rent. Caleb lived in a dorm, pledged a fraternity, flew to Cancun for spring break on money Mom found somewhere. I graduated, landed a solid software engineering job, started climbing, bought a dented Civic with cash, so I wouldn't have debt on top of debt. And that's when the asks began. First it was small. Dad's truck needed brakes. $800.
Just till overtime kicks in, son.
Then Mom's dental crown. $1,200. Insurance doesn't cover it, Lucas, and it hurt so bad. Then Nora's car died right before her junior year. $4,000 for a used Focus. You don't want your sister stranded, do you? Every time I wrote a check, I told myself it was temporary. That family helps family. That I was lucky to be in a position to do it. Years blurred. I met Ava, kind, steady, pediatric ICU nurse with tired eyes and the biggest heart I'd ever known. We got married in a courthouse because a wedding felt selfish when Mom kept hinting the roof was leaking again. We bought a modest house, had our daughter Ellie, and the asks got bigger. Mom's gallbladder went septic. Insurance denied part of the surgery. $34,000 out of pocket, or they'd put a lien on the house. Dad looked me in the eye in that hospital hallway and said, "You're not going to let us lose everything, are you?" Ava pulled me aside. "Lucas, we have a mortgage."
Daycare.
"Your loans." "We can." I cut her off. "It's my mom." We drained our savings and took a helic. $50,000. Monthly payment $680 for 15 years. Dad hugged me and said, "Soon as I'm back on my feet, we'll chip in." They never chipped in a dime. 2 years later, Nora wanted the fairy tale wedding. Barn venue, string lights, live band, signature cocktails. Budget, $35,000. She sat on our couch twisting her engagement ring. "I've never asked for much, Lucas. This is my one day." I transferred $30,000. At the reception, Caleb gave a drunken toast to Mom and Dad for making this magic happen. Not a word about the magic's real source. Then Caleb and his wife decided renting was for suckers. Found a $420,000 house in a new subdivision. Needed 20% down to avoid PMI. That's $84,000. They had $18,000 saved. Dinner at Mom and Dad's. All eyes on me. You're good with money, Lucas, Mom said softly. Maybe you could invest in your brother's future. Ava's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. She stared at me across the table, silently screaming no. But Caleb sent me the listing, the schools, the resale projections. We'll add you to the deed, man. Family investment. I wired $80,000 the day of closing. At the title company, I flipped through the stack. Only Caleb and his wife's names. Where am I? I asked. The closer shrugged. You're not on here. Caleb laughed. Paperwork glitch. We'll fix it later. They never did. The drips kept coming, vet bills, flights to see grandkids, temporary loans that vanished. I added it up once in my head and felt sick, but I never wrote it down. Writing it down would make it real. The real gut punch came quietly. I was at my parents' house digging through a closet for my old Social Security card. Found a yellowed envelope with my name in Mom's handwriting. Inside, for $1,000 Series E savings bonds purchased the year I was born. For Lucas's college, written on the flap in faded ink. Every single one stamped redeemed. Holes punched through. I carried them to the living room. Dad was half watching a game. What happened to these? He glanced over. Oh, yeah. We cashed those when Caleb wrapped his Jeep around a pole junior year. Deductible was murder. You didn't need them. You had scholarships. I stood there holding the mutilated bonds, feeling something inside me crack clean in half. A year later came the text from Caleb. You're covering Dad's retirement party. $15,000. Your turn. I didn't yell. I didn't even reply. That night after Ellie was asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with Ava and opened every bank account I'd ever had. 17 years of statements. I started downloading. It was chaos. Transfers scattered across apps. Checks I'd photographed. Venmos labeled, love you bro. Ava watched me. This is eating you alive. Get someone impartial to look at it. Not for them, for you. I found a CPA downtown. Quiet office, no judgment. I handed over a hard drive and a check for $1,100. For weeks later, he slid a clean 10-page report across the desk. Page 1, cover letter. Page 3, the number in bold. Total financial support provided by Lucas Carter to family members, 2008 to 2025. Parents, medical, housing, utilities, emergencies $158,000. Sister Nora, wedding, vehicles, rent assistance, $62,000. Brother Caleb, down payment, vehicles, miscellaneous $138,000. Grand total given, $358,000. Total received by Lucas from family, $0. Footnote, this is not an invoice. This is a factual record. I stared at those digits until they burned behind my eyes. That night, I emailed the PDF to Mom, Dad, Caleb, and Nora. Subject, clarity. Body. I'm sharing this so we're all working from the same facts. I'm not asking for repayment. Going forward, my financial priority is Ava and Ellie. I will not be funding large expenses, parties, down payments, weddings. This isn't anger. It's a boundary. I love you all. 15 minutes later, the group chat exploded. Nora, are you seriously invoicing us? Caleb, cold move, man. Real cold. Mom, this is cruel. Families don't keep score. Dad called. I put it on speaker. What the hell is this, Lucas? Your mother's in tears. It's just the truth, Dad. You think we're mooches? We raised you. Like what? I asked quietly. You raised me to pay for everything while everyone else got a pass? Silence. Long, heavy silence. You've changed, he finally said. That wife of yours. I grew up. I cut in. That's all. Click. The retirement party happened anyway, scaled down to a backyard cookout with folding tables and a playlist on someone's phone. We went for an hour. Dad hugged Ellie, avoided my eyes. Nora kept glancing at me like I might pull out a ledger. I didn't. I've gone no contact on money talk since. Real emergencies? We'll discuss. Everything else? Silence. Sometimes late at night, I still feel the old guilt creeping in, like I'm the villain for finally closing the vault. But then I look at Ellie asleep in her room, college fund growing every month, and I remember those punched-out bonds with my name on them. $358,000 given. 0 received. And I sleep just fine. So tell me, if this were you, if you woke up one day and saw the real price tag of family staring back at you, would you keep paying? Or would you finally say no? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.